Shalom Aleichem, esteemed friends at Beit Knesset Hanassi. My name is Michael Friedman. I am a 7th generation rabbi, and I very much appreciate your time and consideration. I'd like to dedicate these words of Torah to the 8 Kedoshim who were killed in Merkaz Harav 14 years ago, Hashem Yinkom et Damam, and the Refuah Shlema for Aaron Uriel ben Tahava, my uncle who's in critical care right now. I'd like to share with you an idea from the Netziv, attributed to the Emek Hadavar in Sefer Shmos. The question is, why is it that when Yitro tells Moshe that it is good for him to adjudicate through delegation, he says that it's good for Moshe and it's good for the people in Perek Yud Chet, Pasuk Yud Chet. I understand why it's good for Moshe, but why is it good for the people? The people have a direct audience with Moshe, who Lahavdil is like the Supreme Court justice. Why would they be happy with a lower magistrate, some low-level court? You get a private audience with a Gadol Hador, the Nasi. Also, there's some question about this incident. This incident is spoken about by Moshe in Parshat Devarim as being the root of Chorban, the root of destruction in Klal Yisrael. Seems a little bit strange. If I had to think of one incident, I would guess the Chet HaMeraglim, or at least you want to talk about the Chet HaEgel, but Moshe identifies not the Chet HaMeraglim as the original, literal point of sowing the seeds of Galut and Chorban in Yerushalayim, but actually an entirely different incident. Rather, the incident in question, the one where he delegates authority to other lower-level dayanim, other lower-level judges. Why should that be the root of Chorban? How do we know it's the root? Because Chazal tell us there is a triumvirate of Eicha. 3 times Eicha is used, all in the same week. We commemorate it every year according to the way our calendar comes out, not just the Eicha of Megillat Eicha for Tisha B'Av, but also the Shabbat preceding it, Shabbat Chazon. We have Eicha Yashva Badad, we have Eicha Hita Lazona, and we have a famous Eicha from Moshe Rabbeinu, Eicha Esa Levadi, how can I carry you and the difficulty of carrying you, the people of Israel, by myself? And Moshe says, immediately after, in Perek Aleph Pasuk Yud Gimel in Devarim, that you're the cause, the delegation of authority. You asked for people to be in between me and you, between Moshe and the people, and that was a terrible, terrible chorban, such that he uses the word Eicha, which in the eyes of Chazal, extraordinarily significant. Let's suggest an answer. In the Gemara Sanhedrin, there's an early machloket, asur livtzoa or mitzvah livtzoa, which means, is it permissible to create a settlement? Is it permissible to create a pshara, or is it forbidden? Well, we understand why it would be permissible. We understand that settlement can be a very good thing for society at large. It's true, people don't walk away with everything, but there's a greater chance that both parties will walk away at least with something if, of their own volition, they decide to settle in adjudication. So we understand why mitzvah livtzoa would be considered to be a virtue. But why asur livtzoa? Why would we say in the Gemara, according to one Manda Amar, that it's forbidden to create a pshara, to create a bitzua? Well, if you look closely at that Gemara, and of course this needs more development, there could be a timing issue. At the point where the judges know which way the din is going to go, if they are noted din, at that point, asur livtzoa. At that point, you can't create a compromise. Why? Because at that point, it would be a perversion of justice. If you know if the claimant is telling the truth or not, if I then subdivide, let's say someone is claiming 1,000 shekels. If I say, let's split it, 500 to one party, 500 to another. So there may be an overall sense of contentment that goes around, all around for the people, but one person is still going to be losing out. If I know for a fact that party A owes party B the full 1,000, if I offer a settlement, even if both parties will agree, at that point I am perverting, so to speak, justice. This resolution to the machloket in the Gemara Sanhedrin maybe is what's going on here with Yitro and Moshe. When Yitro says it's better for the people, it's true. Moshe, according to Chazal, knew which way the din would be noteh. He knew it. He knew the halacha, he knew the people, he knew automatically. So there's no opportunity for bitzua, there's no opportunity for settlement. So Yitro may have been saying, it's good for the people, they'll have an opportunity to settle. Yes, in cases it won't be specific where someone is going to have absolute justice, but in overall society they'll work out well. And this idea the Gemara explains is embodied by who? Aaron, Moshe's brother, because Aaron was Ohev Shalom, V'Rodev Shalom. He created and engendered a greater sense of shalom in society, and by this concept of compromise, he's the living embodiment of it. Moshe, on the other hand, was the living embodiment of din, of emet. Shalom on Aaron, Emet in Moshe. It's when the two of them work together in symbiosis, as the two individuals did as brothers, one has an opportunity to create Torah values in the world. Moshe in Devarim is different than Moshe in Sefer Shemot. In his Mishnah Torah, he says the root of Chorban, the root of the Chorban in Yerushalayim, the breakdown in Klal Yisrael, that can give way to Gimel Averot Chamurot and Sinat Chinam, is when an individual doesn't care anymore about Emet. An individual doesn't care about justice anymore. He was saying, possibly to the people, when you were out for your own subjective biases, when you were out for your own means to selfishly pervert the din, it's not about shalom, it's not about creating a greater sense of harmony in the world, it's just you wanted to be able to manipulate the din. If that's the case, if that's the reason why you want to have these people delegating authority, at that point it's a perversion of emet, it's a perversion of justice, and that is intolerable. That is the root of Chorban, and that was the Eicha. I would be remiss if I didn't mention at this point that Rabbi Beryl Wine was brought to my community by my father some 20 years ago, and he said something unforgettable. He said, according to the Meshech Chochmah, himself a tremendous Ohev Tzion, he said that Im Rov Yisrael Mechalei Shabbat, Aval Im Yashalom Beinehem, Hashem Yisloach Lehem. If the majority of Klal Yisrael are Mechalei Shabbos, but if there's peace between them, Hashem will forgive them. Astonishing. That's the idea. On the one hand, this is what a community Rav should really have, and this is what we should all strive for. We should strive for the absolute fidelity to the Torah and its eternal values. At the same time, understand people have been what they've been through, people's individual trauma, their pain. We understand the needs of congregants and the needs of our community members, and to be able to create pshara, to be able to create a sense of shalom beinehem. And together with those two values, we will hopefully walk as one together, rebuilding Yerushalayim as individuals and as a nation as a whole. Thank you very much. Have a Shabbat Shalom, Chodesh Adar Sameach.